your success is for His glory. If you're feeling like you don't.
Welcome back once again. I'm Andriea Denise, and I am here bringing you information and inspiration surrounding your purpose. Now, in previous videos, I've talked about what purpose actually is, and I've talked a little bit about the truth behind purpose. Purpose in general can seem like it's such a huge topic, and it kind of is, but that's why we're breaking it down so that there are little pieces that you can take on so it won't seem so overwhelming. If you haven't seen those videos, you might want to go watch those before watching this one. This video, we're actually talking about how to find your purpose. So now we're getting into the actual work that you need to do. So when I say purpose, just to reiterate from before, I mean intention. What are your intentions? What is your purpose? What are your intentions? What do you intend to do? The first step is to figure out who you are. Find out who you are on the inside, what type of person you are, the type of personality you have, not what people have labeled you as, what you actually are. When you want to figure out what your purpose is, you can't know what it is that you are meant to do unless you know who you are. Now, this is a broad question too, I understand, but to discover yourself, in a sense, you need to know what you like, what you don't like, what you thought you liked, but really only like because maybe you feel in competition with someone, or maybe you feel like other people think this is cool, so this is something that you jumped into or are interested in, but it's not really something that you want to do. So one way that you can figure out who you are is to spend time with yourself. Now, there is something that I like to do within an exercise called the power of veto. If you've been with me for a while, you probably have heard of this before. Within that, there's a part where I ask you to go back, like trace back your thoughts to their origin. Where did these beliefs come from? Where did those thoughts come from? And this is something that I want you to do as you go through your self-discovery. If you have not gone and downloaded the free Purpose Finder workbook, that's something you want to do, because self-discovery is an activity in that workbook. And one of the things that it asks you to do is to spend time with yourself and to figure out what it is that you like, what you dislike, what you are good at, what you think that you would like to build on, like hone in on, and to think of who you are and the things that you like. You kind of want to trace it back. Have I always had these traits? Did I always have these skills, these talents? If I didn't, or if I'm interested in something that maybe I never really thought of, then trace that back. Am I interested in that because it's just natural to me? I like that just because I like it. I've always liked it. Or I had this experience that caused me to like it, and now I want to stay in that vein. You want to understand where those desires come from. You want to understand what your thought processes are around those things, because you want to be really, really clear on who you are. Once you know who you are and what you're here to do, you will not care what anybody thinks, what anybody has to say about it. You will just be focused on purpose. The second step is to get rid of the need for validation or understanding from other people. We have been programmed to believe that we need somebody else to sign off on everything that we do. We grew up looking for our parents or our teachers, our caregivers to say, yes, you're doing the right thing. Good job. Now, I'm telling you that you have to get rid of all of that. You have to get rid of the belief that someone else has power over what is good or bad or right or wrong for you. I say that because a lot of times when you set out to do something, especially if it's different from what you've known or what the people that you are around know, then you'll get some pushback. They don't understand. They can't support you because it's not something that they even, can fathom. It's important because you were given the assignment, not them. And in order for you to go full throttle into what you're supposed to do and to be on purpose, you're going to have to let go of hearing, yeah, you're doing the right thing, or yes, I support you, or yes, let me help you. Now, this is not always true. There are some situations where, someone has done something before you and they have the tools to help you. But a lot of times when we change our mindset and we're working to change our lives and we're moving into different areas that we haven't seen before, it's also true that the people around us have probably not seen that either. So when you start to veer off, they're like, hey, where are you going? What are you doing? What's happening here? And a lot of times off of fear or off of just being conditioned themselves, they'll try to get you to come back into whatever it is that you were doing before, instead of allowing you to be a trailblazer and to go out into these uncharted territories. That you need to be very secure within yourself about what you're doing. Because if people around you don't understand, you will have to stand alone as you work to find your people. And by people, I mean, the support group or the people that are doing the same types of things that you are. If you're gonna branch out and be an entrepreneur, you probably need to be among other entrepreneurs who are going through the same thing or who have been there, so that they can help support you and you can in turn support them. The next step is to do an assessment of your talents and of your skill set. This is important because you want to understand where you're probably going to go within serving your purpose. Usually your purpose is tied to something that you naturally enjoy doing, something that you're naturally good at, something that is just a talent or a skill that you have, and it's something you've always done, something that you've been doing for a while, or something that you pick up along the way. So this is not like everybody should know their purpose at this age or anything like that, because sometimes, you have to go through a lot of life lessons, and then you come to a point where you're like, okay, I want to do something more meaningful. And when you do that, then you see a lot clearer. I'm giving you the tools that you need now so that you can start seeing it, so you can start thinking about what that might be and choose to serve it instead of ending up doing it. And I'm thinking about, have you ever seen one of those biopics where a person is naturally good at something, they get into it really deep, they become wildly famous, they're just blowing through life and being reckless, and then life hits. It's at that point that they're like, none of this matters. The money, the fame, the this, that, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I don't have anything meaningful to hold on to. And so their mindset shifts, and then their focus changes to something else, and they end up not changing what they do because they still have the talent and the skills. So they use that to do something meaningful. They take that and they focus it on something that helps other people. So if it was singing, or if it was sports, or whatever they were into, they still do that same thing, but now they do it for a different reason. And that's why I want you to focus on who you are and what you're good at, what your talents and skills are, because that will steer you in the direction that you should be going when it comes to figuring out what your purpose is. And when you do that and you start being intentional about where you use your skills and talents, how you are being purposeful in what you do, how you do it, where you do it, who you do it with, then you are absolutely on the right track. Now, once you know what your talents and skills are, you want to start thinking about how you'd be able to use those in a meaningful way. Don't just go to work for some company. Don't just start up some business just to make money. Don't just go with anybody just because you get excited about something. Like, really think about who you are serving. Really think about where you are serving, and really think about the industry or the place that you can use your talents and skills. One simple way to get on the right track to serving your purpose is to answer this one question. If I could do anything in the world for a living, what would that thing be? It doesn't matter what it is. If it's playing video games, if it's drawing, if it's writing, if it's dancing, if it's singing, if it's photography, if it's art, whatever that thing is, that's the direction you should be headed in. Those are the 3 things that I suggest for you to start working on so you can find your purpose. If you have not already, be sure to go to AndreaDenise.com, sign up to get a free download of my Purpose Finder workbook. Everything that I discussed today and the other videos are in that workbook. So you want to make sure that you get that. You can work at your own pace. It'll help you along the way and you keep everything together. In the meantime, stay beautiful on the inside. And this is from me to you with love. Peace.